people just getting into scripting and coding their rigs, there's kind of a divide between riggers. There's entry-level rigger that learns processes, learns how to use UIs, knows how to do things in Maya manually. If you train them, they'll pick it up quickly and can carry out tasks sort of in a production line kind of manner. Okay, then there's a mid to senior level rigger does a lot of code. They're going to script things, they're going to have their own code solutions that they've used to automate things in the past. They may or may not have built an entire auto rigger. That takes a bit of time, but over time, over your career, maybe a few years of rigging, you on the side build an auto rigger, or you get a hold of one that's available freely and you experiment with modifying it. Or you work on a pipeline altering or updating or troubleshooting an existing auto rigger. So for the person that's brand new to making this transition, it's not that difficult. You got a lot of good things on your side here, a lot of positives. So let's talk a few about those. So anytime you do anything in Maya, the output of the script editor is going to show you the code that completed that action. So if I just translate that sphere and undo the move, then you can see here in the script editor it's got select the sphere, move the sphere, undo the move. Okay, so as default these are all going to be output as mel commands. There's basically two types of code you got to worry about, is Python and mel when you're doing rigging and scripting in Maya. So Maya uses mel, it's Maya's embedded language. It's based off C. It's going to be a little bit of a different syntax that comes out of here than if you're going to use Python. So you'll notice that in the script editor you can make new tabs. You can choose here mel or Python. Okay, so if you're just starting out, it'll seem a little weird that you have these two things, but you just have to realize that everything you do you can get from the script editor output. To convert it into a format for Python, if you're doing Python, it's not that difficult. It's just a slightly different syntax. So if you Google a Maya command like Maya move command, and then you find this page for the help from Autodesk, you'll notice in the top left that it says command in Python here. Okay, and then over here you got a link that says mel version. Zoom out a bit so you can see this, maybe getting cropped. So in the top right here you'll see mel version. Okay, so if you click on that link, okay, now this is changed to say command is in mel, and then you can switch back and forth like this. So at the bottom of the pages you can see some examples. So in the Python form we've got, first of all, you import Maya commands as CMDS. So you don't do this when you're coding in mel, but you do it when you're coding in Python. So import Maya commands as commands. So you're importing the Maya commands library to use in Python. And you're saying as commands so that you don't have to type maya.cmds every time. You're just doing a short form. So this CMDS will now replace this whenever you want to refer to a Maya command. So in this example, they do cmds.polysphere. That's going to create a sphere. cmds.move is going to move it. Okay, so first they move it to a position, XYZ 1 1 1. Then they have a little bit of a different syntax here. Move it to 5 in y equal true, so that's going to move it in y. Okay, and on and on. So the way this is written, if you just made it, it will be selected. So you don't have to name it to say, hey, I want to move this specific sphere. It will know because it's selected. And then down here, they've done it differently. They've named it and said, okay, we want to move this one. This is the name of it. So you can see here in the mel, there's no import as import Maya commands as CMDS. You don't need that. So you don't do cmds.polysphere. You just say polysphere, and that will make the sphere. You say move, and it will move. So you notice it's very similar, but instead of having the command a space and then your arguments or flags they're called, instead of that you have brackets or parentheses they're called. The round brackets are parentheses. So if you have parentheses and then you have all your flags inside the parentheses, that's the only difference really. Sometimes the order that they get listed is a little different too. So you might have them in a certain order that's required in the mel command. It'll be slightly different in the Python command. Okay, so instead of this dash relative, so this is the mel version, in the Python version you would have relative equal true. So that's a little different too. Okay, so from this you can get the commands in the mel version. from your Maya script editor. Okay. So by selecting and moving the sphere, I figured out the commands that I use: select, move, okay, and even undo. So from there, what you go and do is you go look them up on the documentation on the Autodesk site, and you can switch to the Python version and get the syntax in Python if you're coding in Python. Okay, so the Python version. Okay, so then you can see the different format here. And there's the relative equal true. Before we had like a dash and then relative. Okay, so I don't have to know this. I don't have to memorize this stuff. All you need to know is that you can find this reference here that converts it back and forth from Mel to Python, and you need to know that anything you do, for the most part, like 90% of stuff you do in Maya is going to show up here, which is super handy, right? This is going to really accelerate your learning of how to script a task.